Over the 2023 and 2024 seasons of Pokemon, a specter has loomed over the competitive scene.
And shoutouts to Marco Perez, currently in 8th place, still running wo-chien after all this time and still doing very well.
Yeah, eventually wo-chien is going to work.
A ruinous miasma that lowers the attack set of all who encounter it.
Xiliang, top cut NAIC with wo-chien, but then found a better grass type to put on the team. Sorry.
Oh, no. I think
sorry, Marcos, had to throw it out there.
These seasons, I decided to embark on a mission that frankly deserves a better video, which I might still make one day, but I actually tried to qualify for the World Championships using my favorite Pokemon, wo-chien. A Pokemon whose short competitive history has shown that it is by far the weakest of the Gen 9 Legendary Quartet. Despite this, I ran it at nearly every event it was legal for and even managed to get some decent results in a few of them, resulting in me eventually bringing it to the World Championships, a decision I would go on to regret. Kinda. It was really funny. Today, let's talk about my wo-chien obsession and showcase the team I ended up bringing to the 2024 World Championships. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video at any point in time, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. As a matter of fact, you should really just subscribe right now because I have a playlist full of content just like this that you can watch once this video ends. And if you think you're subscribed, do me a favor and double check because a lot of my viewers actually aren't. With that, let's get into the video. But not before I plug my YouTube channel memberships. If you click the join button, not only do you get access to bonus videos every week and access to my podcast with Jody Azzarelli, but you also can join my members only Discord where we team build and discuss Pokemon broadly. You also get a badge by your name in the comments and in my live streams, and you get to see your name at the end of these videos. Lots of cool perks there, so consider supporting me with the channel membership. Now back to the video. Okay, like I said, this should have had a longer video all about my journey, and that might come later down the road, but I realized I only have 2 more weeks of Regulation G and never actually got around to talking about this story in a video, so this is going to be more a cursory look over what I did with this Pokemon. But wo-chien from the start of Gen 9 has been my favorite Pokemon. This is due to one very specific reason: its ability Tablets of Ruin. See, back in earlier VGC formats like 2017 and 2018, I really enjoyed playing slow, methodical team archetypes that centered around damage mitigation and going for heavy damage when the opportunity presented itself. And I believe that wo-chien, paired with a Pokemon like Incineroar, would allow for me to play this way. And it kinda did. The only issue was wo-chien's awful grass dark typing, which left it weak to a number of very common moves like U-turn and close combat. This completely undercuts any defensive utility wo-chien has. I mean, look at these stats. It would have been an absolute tank with the recovery options it's got. However, I was still determined to make it work. I tried hard stall, I tried balance, I even tried growth in sun at one point, but nothing seemed to work. When Regulation G finally came around, I found that wo-chien had a legitimate niche in being able to wall out Calyrex Shadow Rider, snarl down opposing special attackers like Kyogre or Lunala, and even threaten foul play on Calyrex Ice while still being able to tank Glacial Lances. So I decided to try to run it at Indianapolis Regionals alongside a bulky Calyrex Shadow Rider. A decision which would not only secure me 85th place at the regional, but also net me my Worlds invite, meaning I could just run wo-chien for the bit at the upcoming North American International Championships and not worry about my placement. At this event, I ended up locking a wo-chien Kyogre team. On this team, my wo-chien would actually outspeed my Assault Vest Kyogre by 1 point, while Tablets of Ruin decreased incoming damage. This allowed for wo-chien to consistently Pollen Puff Kyogre back up to full health and deal massive damage to the opposing team with full power Water Spout and Rain. This concept would, funnily enough, also be stumbled upon by Justin Tang and Xiliang Tang, who would also run the duo at the event, albeit on a very different team. But Xiliang outplaced me, so he gets the credit for the concept now. And I mean, he got 5th, so that's pretty deserved, I'm not gonna lie. Going into the World Championships, I did a few things to prep. I played in a bunch of online tournaments, adapted the team to fit a Raging Bolt onto it, convinced New York rapper Jay-Eazy to write a song about wo-chien, and even had a fan create a gold-plated wo-chien figure which I'd attach to a chain and wear to the event. It was very heavy, and I ended up taking it off a few rounds in. And how did that go? Not well. I only managed to win 2 out of 8 games in day 1 of the 2024 World Championships. The level of play at the event was something I definitely wasn't prepared for, and I got totally destroyed. Still, I had a lot of fun during the event, and I wouldn't trade the experience for anything else. So with that, let's showcase the team that I ended up bringing to the World Championships, and yeah, it was a really fun time. I just wanted to finally talk about this team. But Mr. Boosted, why aren't you making a full-length video about the wo-chien saga? Maybe one day. Here, you can look at the cool metal gold-plated thing I got from a fan. Shout out to them. That was really cool. I gave them like a nice little shout-out post on Twitter when the thing happened, but their DM's been buried for so long that I wish I could find them, but I don't know where the DM is, and I don't know who it was. We're going to be using the team that I used at the World Championships. It has been a very long time since I have used this team, and I don't remember what every spread does. All I know is that at the time, this was a pretty decent team. I just played very poorly at Worlds for multiple reasons, but this is the season finale of the wo-chien saga, effectively. Like, this is like what this team was for me, and it dawned on me that I never made the video. And I only had a couple of days left of Reg G to get this video out, so we're gonna go ahead and use it. You know, if you guys enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Hopefully it is somewhat interesting despite being such a dated team. Let's get into it. Okay, so one of the interesting things about this team is that it doesn't have a lot of answers for Choice Scarf Landorus, except for well, I guess it does. It's like AV Kyogre, but things get kind of freaky. And I don't remember exactly how I'm supposed to play this, to be honest, especially into a wide guard mon like Pelicopter. But one of the cool things about this team was that I was running Booster Energy Raging Bolt with Terra Electric Thunder, because that was like the best thing I could come up with to not always lose to Zamazenta. We're gonna try not to lose every match today, but if we do, it's appropriate considering my world's record. So we're also gonna try to find a reason to bring this guy to every game. As long as they don't lead off with Pelipper, I think I'm actually in a pretty decent spot. So let's go ahead and just go for it. Should be not the worst experience of my life, but pretty close. Pretty close. Into this, definitely want my Urshifu. And I think Incineroar is going to be very good. I don't think we really need Tornadus, to be honest, unless I want to taunt the Pelipper, which I might have needed to be honest. Pelicopter. Also, I'm not going to lie, I am not on the top of my game right now. I have not slept in over 24 hours, and the reason for that is because my sleep schedule has been so messed up that the best thing that I could come up with to fix it was just a hard reset. So I've just been staying up. I stayed up all night, the whole night, in hopes that I will be able to fall asleep at a normal time tonight. This looks like a pretty open and closed case for going for Pollen Puff. My only concern is if they're going to go for... I guess I could Terra Water here just to make sure I don't lose wo-chien immediately. It's not like the worst thing ever. We're going to go for the Pollen Puff. I'm going to go for the... not Origin Pulse, the Water Spout. Should be full power unless they're like an extremely weird Calyrex, which outspeeds me about 1 point. As they're going to Terra Ghost. Interesting. Not sure why. It's not going to help them live. Yeah, I'm going to Terra Water here because I just don't want to drop to like Sludge Bomb plus Glacial Lance. This should make it so I basically just eat everything. And if they go for Trick Room, I'm still going to like eat everything. Not my berry though. At least not until the Calyrex drops. They go for Sanseer Storm. It's gonna... whoa, critical hit on the wo-chien's a little bit annoying. Can't lie. Pollen Puff was wasted. I could have just Foul Played. Yeah, I guess it's not totally wasted. This is still gonna hurt really bad. Does less than half to this Calyrex. That's AV. That is an AV Calyrex, right? Like, there's no other way it could do less than half. Yeah, that is totally AV. Glad I went for this. Because it's just going to bounce off the wo-chien now since it's at effectively -1 attack. There is Electro Furia. Electro Furia. Now, luckily for me, we have solutions to this. I'm going to go ahead and go into Incineroar. I think they mostly just want to deal with the wo-chien, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. The pretty fast wo-chien. I think there's a shot we outspeed this Electro Furia. But I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Protect. And a Water Spout. I could have gone into like Incineroar or something, but I guess I should have always gone into Incineroar. What am I doing? But if they want to go for like the electric move into my wo-chien, that'd be pretty cool. Yep, they do. They did opt for that. Origin Pulse should be doing a pretty significant amount. I went for Origin Pulse since... Oh, wait, I did go for Water Spout. This is what I mean. I'm, like, really tired today, guys. I'm, like, extremely tired today. Did they just Seed Bomb me? Bro. BM. That is some crazy BM. All right. Here it is almost certainly my play to go to Incineroar. Actually, no, it's not my play to go to Incineroar. Maybe it is. Because I could Foul Play here. On you, because they should always Thunderclap Kyogre to make sure they don't lose their guy, right? So I can Foul Play you and go into Incineroar on this slot. And if they do just decide to go for the Thunderbolt into wo-chien, which I don't know why they would at this point. Like, they're in Water Spout range. Or they're in, like, whatever range. I think that they're just going to focus down the right slot and make sure they don't have to worry about it. As they do end up Thunderclapping the wo-chien, that's fine. I get Fake Out pressure this turn. They're also Life Orb. Seed Bomb shouldn't do anything. Yeah. I can get my... Honestly, like, Urshifu isn't a bad play here. I do get Fake Out Close Combat. And that guarantees value. They also just don't have, like, a Trick Room option, which is really funny. Fake Out Close Combat. They already burned their Terra Ghost too, so that's pretty good. I don't drop to Seed Bomb unless they're like Terra Grass and they crit. They withdraw. That makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. It's getting CC'd. Their own Urshifu, which I'm pretty okay with, to be honest. I'm Choice Scarf. This should be a 2-shot. And I'm a very, very fast Incineroar. Like, the fastest. Like, I'm literally Jolly 252. Because at the time, Jolly 252 was a set. And we just go for knockoff here. Jolly 252 was indeed a set. I forget why it was a set. It's kind of funny just playing such an old team in like the like super, basically the end of Reg G. We're playing like the end of the first bout of Reg G into the end of the second bout of Reg G. Not that, you know, AV Calyrex has ever had a significant showing, but still. All right. Nice. And I mean, like, that's just a win. Like, we just go for knockoff in close combat. Like, they're always gonna Thunderclap, right? Technically, if I'm gonna get Thunderclapped anyways, it's optimal to go Kyogre here and knock off. Technically, this is optimal because if I need them to like waste a turn, because they should always Thunderclap. If they Draco Meteor me, I'd be really surprised. Because they T-Bolt Incineroar, which is fine. We'll eat that. Don't get paralyzed. Get the knockoff as well. And they always lose. Let's go for the Ice Beam. Go for the knockoff. That's game. Nice. Managed to snag a win there. So we're already on track to winning as many games as I did at Worlds. As long as I get one more. All right. See you battling here. That went really quickly. 10 minutes for one game. Not even, like 7 minutes if we don't include me yapping. Okay. Now this one. This is very familiar to me. Calyrex Psyspam. What they got for a well-played Snarl? What do they got for a well-played Snarl, you know? I ask myself this every day. It's true. Ask my friends. I'm always wondering this. AV Kyogre lead, not the worst. Not the worst. However, we do get a lot of value from just leading off Tornadus as well. Kyogre in the back. And certainly Incineroar over Urshifu in this game. Certainly Incineroar over Urshifu. Having 2 dark types is really nice into like Calyrex Shadow Psyspam just because, you know, they can't click any of their moves and I get to spam Snarl. You know, one of the funny differences between my team and the Tang's team was that I didn't have... I think their wo-chien had like a Leech Seed and they didn't have Foul Play. I believe they had Ruination, which I ended up putting Ruination over Snarl on a Terapagos team I ran. In San Antonio that did pretty decent, but I still think that I got a lot of value from being able to click like Snarl in like my run of NAIC and my Worlds run. It's especially good into this matchup. Yeah, that's a pretty good lead. I'm just always able to do this. Let's go ahead and go into Kyogre. Kyogre on what should be like a U-turn or a fake out, and I'm gonna go for Bleak Wind. They can't fake out me. They can't, at least they can't fake out the Tornadus slot. I am modest for special attack, which is kind of goofy. It just ended up being like, I hit all my defensive calcs with what I had, so the modest nature ended up being optimal. This also covers for like an overheat play. But if I were them, I would just U-turn. Probably no Whimsicott too, which is really awesome for me. That means that my Tailwind's going to be especially useful. There's no way they would hammer the wo-chien, right? Yeah, it should just be a Heat Wave play. Heat Wave U-turn. Bleak Wind's going to do some pretty chunky damage here. Because that is a Rillaboom. Did they just Wood Hammer me? Don't KO me. Okay, thank you. That's actually incredible. Because now I just get to Terra Grass, and there's not much they can do about it. I get Tailwind, Terra Grass, Water Spout. And I don't mind losing Tornadus anymore. They should just Grassy Glide here. You would never pass up this opportunity. All right. There's the Tailwind. Should be a Grassy Glide play. Should still pick up a double. Yeah, especially since Chi is on the field right now. Let's see if they're Scarf. They are Scarf. Tornadus avoids. Still a double KO. Awesome. And I'm gonna get some recovery because of their grassy terrain. So I get to use that against them a bit. It'd really suck if they did bring Whimsicott and they just like Sunny Day on me. I guess it's if that's the case, I could taunt them still. Since I'm faster right now. Alright, it's Ogerpon. That is actually just a free... Water Spout doesn't do a lot, but like Water Spout Bleak Wind is basically a guaranteed KO, even though it's like cut pretty significantly. I'd rather just guarantee the damage on the Ogre Pawn. You know, it's a lot more valuable to me to do that. What if they're Grassy Glide on Ogre Pawn? They could be. It's possible. Because they protect. It should just be a double protect, which is fine by me. I get more damage on my Water Spout. Alright. Water Spout, we got like, what, 2 turns left? Yeah, they're not winning this. Bleak Wind Storm, can't miss, by the way. They need to, like, crit a Grassy Glide to survive this. Oh, they Grassy Glide into Tornadus. Interesting. A masterful gambit. But the match is over. These are going pretty quick. Maybe this team wasn't so bad. Maybe I was just bad on that day. I actually stand by that the team is not bad. I just played horrible at Worlds. All right. This might be a more than 3-game session. I want to make sure I get some decent, like, wo-chien action here. But I also want to make sure I like, showcase the team effectively. As you can see, wo-chien didn't accomplish much there, but bait them out to, you know, not fear it. Let me get in the free Kyogre. I don't know. That was definitely a game where it was like, yeah, could wo-chien have showed up? Yeah. Could have also been something a lot more useful that game. Yeah. Still worked out. And we're climbing. Not that I really care about this ladder right now. Ramon. Yo, what is this? This is a wo-chien game if I've ever seen one. That is Snarl. This is Snarl the game. Have to be really careful though. Have to be extremely careful with that Rillaboom. You get quite a bit of value from these two guys, so we're gonna go with that. But it looks like this is gonna be a game where wo-chien Terras, and as long as they don't lead off with the Rillaboom, it is gonna be like a wo-chien Terra plus spam Water Spout type of game. Because they're probably going to focus down the Kyogre. And that's the thing with this team. You know, when you see a Kyogre and a wo-chien, you're going to have to double down one of them to make sure you don't lose a Pokemon. And if you get it wrong, if you double down into the Kyogre and ignore the wo-chien, you're going to regret that instantly. And then the next turn, you're still probably going to lose a Mon. That's sort of like the fun ultimatum that this team creates. This is still a Terra Water scenario. I think here it's actually to my benefit if I Terra Water and go for Snarl. And I'm actually going to go ahead and go for a Thunder into Palkia for decent damage. It'd be really funny. What if it was like Terra Dragon Scope Lens, Sylveon, and then they just Dragon Cheer? That'd be kind of crazy. Okay, should be a Trick Room play then, right? If that's what you're doing. Spatial Rend, hello? Doesn't do too much. Crit would hurt, though. I cannot lie, a crit would really hurt. It'd be really awesome if I could paralyze this thing, too. Uncle Nintendo, give me the crit para. No crit para. Not that bad. Let's go ahead and just go for the Pollen Puff Water Spout play. Not the worst thing I can do here. They withdraw the Palkia too. That's actually awesome. Right, just Rillaboom? Yep, just Rillaboom. But I should be able to launch off a full-powered Water Spout, which isn't going to KO the Sylveon, but it'll come close. Oh! That's interesting. The Sylveon and either my wo-chien or my Kyogre speed tie with it. Huh. That is... okay, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all, actually. Let's get Incineroar in here. One or the other, and I don't know which. Because my wo-chien is 1 point faster than my Kyogre. So there's a speed tie happening there. If it's managing to sneak in there, you know? We'll find out soon enough. That hurts. Wo-chien should live a Wood Hammer at this point, so I should be able to toss out a Snarl. Snarl Parting Shot isn't a bad play. Because I can Parting Shot Rillaboom basically every time, especially with how fast I am. Oh my god. That should let me live the Wood Hammer. And let's see if my wo-chien's the faster one here. Yeah, it looks like it's a speed tie between Kyogre and Sylveon. Critical hit on the Sylveon is appreciated. Probably just a Wood Hammer on the wo-chien, right? Should tank that at effectively -3. Yep. God, this thing's goated. This thing's so goated, bro. Alright, gonna need Buddy to tag in again. Go for this Ice Beam. Need to deal with the Grass type. Might have Terra Watered a little prematurely there. Definitely didn't need to turn 1. I just thought they would attack. But this should send this thing down to literally -3 instead of just effectively. Kyogre should live the Wood Hammer. They withdraw. There's Chen Pao. Never mind. Remember everything I said about living that Wood Hammer? It's gone. It's gone. It doesn't do that anymore. Unless they do that. Cool. No, I'll take it. Cool. That's fine. And I get the freeze. I'm so good at this game, bro. I'm so good at this game. The rain stopped, but do I look like I care? Tell me. Look in my face. Does it look like I care? I'm about to do something so disrespectful. Definitely a knockoff play since we know I outspeed the Rillaboom here, and we'll just Origin Pulse. All right. As Origin Pulse does not matter there. Grass disappears from the field. That's fine. There's Palkia. Should be Ice Beam range. So what I'm going to do here is go right back into wo-chien. Go for this Ice Beam. Make sure I don't drop to a double up from like Spatial Rend Sucker Punch. Wo-chien should be able to prevent that. So they're gonna Terra. Terra Dragon? I would do it. Terra Stellar? Yeah, Terra Stellar. Okay. Could be kind of bad if they double into the Kyogre. Which it looks like they're not. Oh, they are. I'll live. We're fine. Wo-chien does drop, but this Ice Beam will pick up this KO. At least I want to believe it does. I'll be able to get a permanent Intimidate on that Chien-Pao, which is going to be awesome. Nice. Let's get an Incineroar here. And I absolutely have to break that Focus Sash. So I'd say my play here is just going to be fake out Origin Pulse. Not really worry about the Kyogre too much. To protect the Chien-Pao, probably just going to be a double protect. I could have tried to get my Raging Bolt in there. Oh, it looks like I'm fine. Yeah. I was going to say, I could have tried to get Raging Bolt in there, but I don't think... I think that, you know, them attacking was a little bit too much of a risk. Please don't miss Sylveon. I kind of need to hit this thing. Thank you. This KO. Yes, it does. Okay, that should just be a win. Because what I do now here is I go for the Parting Shot. I'm going to have to break Sash anyways, so I'm just going to Ice Beam. It's the Ice Spinner. That's awesome. They're going to waste their Terra boost on that. And now, I should be able to tank whatever with Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt's like pretty fat. I definitely don't Thunderclap here. And the reason I don't Thunderclap is because they can Sucker Punch into the Kyogre and just block it entirely. So I'm just going to Dragon Pulse and believe that at -1 I'm going to be able to eat this. Especially since they lost their Stellar boost. Dragon Pulse, and I am going to go for the Origin Pulse just to be safe. If they do Sucker Punch, going to be into my Kyogre. No, it's going to be in a Raging Bolt. Okay, that's fine. I just always win now. Okay, sick. Let's get one more. It's only been 28 minutes. Jeez. We've just been, like, cleaning up ladder today with this team. We've just been cleaning up ladder today with this team, bro. Like, look, that's what happens when you believe in Wo-chien. I believed in him going into this. Trust, I believed in him. All right. One more. 1344. Yeah, if we get a high enough ladder opponent, we could break top 1000. That was a pretty decent Wo-chien game, though. Snarl mattered. The attack drops mattered quite a bit. I got to make a Palm Puff play. Low, rank 2009. What is this? That... Someone believes in their Pokemon a lot more than I believe in mine, because that is a Rhydon and a Tropius. Am I allowed to lose to this, or is that, like, sacrilege? I'm gonna bring Wo-chien because I said we would, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna, like, immediately Terra Water and Rain Dance, I'll tell you that much. That is the game plan going into this. I'm clicking Terra Water, I'm clicking Rain Dance, and if they lead off with Tropius, I already know you got Wide Guard. I'm not messing with that. I'm gonna Ice Beam you. Does it get Sleep Powder? I don't think it does. Yep, that is a Terra Water play if I've ever seen one. I am also going to Rain Dance. Or not Terra Water. Terra... whatever. Terra Grass Water Spout. Do I want to Rain Dance here? It's a little risky. I mean, like, do they really care about their booster energy? Could just go into wo-chien right away and save it for later. I think I'm going to go into wo-chien and save it for later. I don't think they're going to switch into their Groudon. I think they're just going to attack. And with the AV, as long as they don't get a special attack drop, we should be fine. Yeah, got it right. Ooh, what's the Terra? Please be Terra Electric. Nah, they keep the resistance. Terra Water. Okay, I suppose that's another option that would have been very annoying. It means they're both going to tank this pretty well. Doesn't do much. Oh, are they Trick Rooming? Interesting. Okay. They did just Trick Room. I am okay with that. I am okay with that. I'm pretty sure I'm still going to be slower than that Flutter Mane. So... I'm just going to Ice Beam now and Snarl. As I avoid the Snarl at my Kyogre, which is huge. Pretty decent damage. Snarl goes off first. Critical hit in the Flutter Mane's not bad. Not bad. Ignore my special attack drop. Moonblast. Doesn't do much. And now is not a bad time to do something really goofy. Nah, I still just Ice Beam. I still just Ice Beam and Snarl. It's still the same play. Yeah, they're just staying in. And I'm going to dodge again with Kyogre. No, wo-chien. Okay. I was going to say, I'm just going to be goated for a minute here. As they reversed the Trick Room, they said I'm not playing with this anymore. I don't want to deal with that. Groudon, the great model for paintings. Okay. This is no issue for me. I'm going to go into my Tauren. And I'm going to protect here. So they withdraw the Flutter Mane. What's coming in? You. That's fine. Because they already burned their Terra, man. If Tornado survives this turn, my play is pretty straightforward. Eruption. Whoa. Okay. Didn't see that one coming. Tornadus drops. How slow are you? I get the feeling that I might just be faster than you. If this is your plan. I could also just go into Urshifu right now and not care. Definitely prioritizing you right now. Because if I get rid of you and I set up Rain, that Eruption's not doing anything. If it's Scarf Chi-Yu, I am Jolly, so we have a shot to outspeed here, which would be very much appreciated. No, okay, that's a little bad. Well, that doesn't do anything. Eruption's not going to do much either then. Burn on the Kyogre is a little bit annoying, but honestly, as long as I get this off, I'm fine. Because I don't think Eruption's going to even come close to KOing this Kyogre. Because that's stab Eruption with Chi-Yu. You know? Still burn on my Kyogre. Not a big deal. Really interesting team they got here. Really interesting team. Definitely just going to be a Surging Strikes into you. And we just Origin Pulse you. One. Two. Pretty bulky Flutterman. Bulky Flutterman. Let's see if we are faster. Nope, not faster, but shouldn't matter. Let's see if we connect here, making things a lot simpler. No, we're gonna miss. That's fine. I can just Surging Strikes. Surging Strikes and Ice Beam. Why not? Why even risk the miss at that point as they forfeit? Nice. That is a showcase that I am fairly proud of. We didn't drop a single game with this team. Granted, it's the end of the season, but for such an outdated team, it did pretty well. I'm a little bit annoyed we didn't pull Zamazenta, because into Zamazenta, we actually bring Raging Bolt and click Terra Electric Thunder, which is really funny. A very funny strategy. But let's see where we end up finishing on ladder for the season, because I don't know if I'm going to get another game in before the end of the season. 1061. Not bad. Not bad. But yeah, the pace for this team is going to be down below. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Let me know if you guys want to see a full like breakdown of every time I ran wo-chien in the 2023-2024 season, because the teams are pretty interesting. I just didn't have time to do that today. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.